Hello, hello, and welcome to the Ladies Love Hip Hop podcast. I'm your girl, Summer Willow.
And this is Karen.
And we are the ladies who love hip hop. Ooh, girl. You been going to singing lessons?
Just a little. You know, I've been learning from the best.
You sound amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, I do. Your soprano is hitting.
I love that.
So, you know, we're back again. We missed you as usual. We must tell you. Listen to us, Ladies of Hip Hop podcast on SoundCloud and on iTunes. You can also follow us on Instagram at Ladies Love. That's LUV Hip Hop, and that's Instagram, Twitter. We have a YouTube page, Ladies Love Hip Hop. You know, all that great stuff. So make sure you tell your friends and your cousins and all those people that you talk to on a regular to follow us and get involved because we engage in the hip hop community.
Yes, we need the follows.
Yeah. So how are you? Haven't seen you in like 5 seconds, but how are you?
Yes, the week was good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I work for the government, so our fiscal year ends on September 30th. So they worked me like a horse.
Oh, that's
last
nice.
week. I was chained to my desk, and I was just like, wow, y'all really meant for me to work this week, huh?
That's what you're getting paid for. That's what you get paid for.
I know.
You want me to work?
Yeah, I ain't come here for all that, okay?
Right.
I came to collect check.
Collect it.
Do y'all go through this all the time?
Yes, we do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, we do.
Okay. I'm learning. I'm getting it.
Let's do this.
Okay.
Anywho, as you can see, we have a beautiful guest with us.
Straight gorgeous.
Pretty much the lifeline to hip hop. I'm going to say the oracle. But we're with you, so we're talking all about you today. This is about you today.
I'll take it.
So, Karen, why don't you tell our lovely listeners and viewers what's happening?
So, guys, today on Ladies Love Hip Hop podcast, we have an iconic radio veteran here with us. She is a Philly native and has garnered and maintained a respected name throughout the entertainment industry. She is considered a female pioneer in hip hop, being one of the first to record a single, which most hip hop junkies know as To the Beat, Y'all. Her name is synonymous with hip hop culture and Philadelphia's rich and historical musical legacy. She is also responsible for a long-standing event known in the Philly area showcasing old school and new school hip hop. She has been credited for jump-starting music careers in hip hop like Will Smith, for example. So we are very excited and honored to have her as a guest on Ladies Love Hip Hop.
You better be out your seats.
Please give it up, ladies and gentlemen, for radio pioneer, Miss Lady B.
They are so silly. Oh my God, I love y'all. Welcome to the crib.
Listen, thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
We are so excited
It's my pleasure
to be with you.
It really is.
This is amazing.
Yes.
I love your energy and I love your excitement about hip hop. Touches my heart.
Well, you know,
you were the one that was instrumental in getting us involved in this.
No, it does. It makes me feel like my last 37 years were not wasted.
It was not in vain.
Yes, for sure.
that's what you should have got from there.
Yeah.
Because we love this. We all love this.
Yeah.
Which is why we need to talk to you.
I'm feeling it. What you want to talk about?
You got the keys. You got the keys.
Let's drop some gems.
All right.
Let me get comfortable. Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead. And we're back.
All right.
So, we start our show off the same way every time.
And how's that?
Yes. So, we like to do what is known as Negro Geography, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And since you are a Philly native,
Yes.
what part of Philly did you grow up?
Winfield.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Wow.
Winfield girl. Whoop,
Yes.
whoop, graduate. Whoop, whoop.
That's what's up.
Winfield girl.
Yes.
What was Winfield like when you were coming up? How would you describe it?
Well, you know, I was there since the age of 4.
Okay.
And when my family moved to 57th and Wendell, there were only 2 African-American families on the block.
Wow.
And ironically, the other African-American family on the block were the Daniels, home of Lee Daniels.
Whoa.
Yes. Yeah, we all know his story. But yeah, I've always said I was an honorary Daniel. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but yeah.
Absolutely.
And then I watched it. You know, it's funny. I have a best friend. She lived in Winfield as well. and we were looking at our kindergarten pictures from Gompers Elementary.
Gompers, another Gompers.
In kindergarten, there was 2 black students in our picture, and then by 6th grade, there were only 2 Caucasian students.
Wow.
That's how fast the neighborhood
To watch that just change over.
Yep. Yeah.
There has to be a, I don't know. See, when I was coming up in Germantown, I do remember the changing of the guard.
Right.
But it wasn't necessarily an ethnic thing. It was from community to drug infested community.
Yeah.
And I remember,
unfortunate, we could say that about
unfortunately, that's the major transition that I remember in my neighborhood.
Yeah, that's about the size of it.
I'm 41. Don't I look good, everybody? Yes, go on about my age.
Oh yeah,
I raised people older than you. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, whatever.
But yeah, that's a plight we often talk about on the show. The fact that we watched, and I was saying prior on shows that I felt like we may have gone through some type of PTSD, witnessing a neighborhood go from sugar to shit, literally. People that you looked up to, that was the fly grown fly guy, you know. And then all of a sudden, within a week span, they look like zombies, you know.
Very unfortunate.
I'm glad we all was able to escape that.
It was horrible, period, no buts, you know. However, hip-hop told that story. It was kind of mirrored it, but it got us through, you know.
A lot. It did. I was
living
just
in
recently
that.
watching the video from my 30th anniversary and the little snippets. And Jill Scott touched my heart when she said, hip-hop saved her life. As it did with many of us. I mean, I don't know if people understand that even before the crack epidemic, that we had a serious gang war problem.
Right.
And hip-hop allowed us to put down our guns and our knives to express ourselves with music and lyric. And I mean, if you ask Africa Bambaataa, he will tell you just that it stopped their gang warring. And what a better way to express and represent your hood, if you will, than through rhyming and spinning and dancing than taking lives. And the sad part is, if, as we sit here in 2018, we're right back where it started, and I'm afraid that there's not enough good hip-hop out there to save this generation.
Wow.
Whenever I talk to young people, I try to tell them to be mindful of how their lyrics affect and touch a listener, a child. You know,
when you put it into that perspective, wow.
True.
You know, it saved us. There were a lot of great messages. I mean, everything wasn't about raising somebody else's kids, but with the loss of community, with the loss of family on a high scale, it's not gone, it's not dead. It's just that, you know, drugs and violence infiltrated our communities and like severely fractured our homes for a lot of us.
But believe it's not anything we can't put back together.
Most definitely. But just to think about how, you know, hip hop saved for us, and it was like our go-to and our refuge. You saying you're afraid that there's not enough of that to get our kids
out here,
through.
but what it's showing our kids is not a very good example, if you will.
In the mainstream, I agree. In the mainstream, what's out there is just
and I'm angry about that because, you know, as a person who fought and cried and pleaded to get this genre of music on the radio.
Yes.
To see that it has, that mainstream hip hop today is just a bunch of mess. And I don't know, somehow I think it was, planned. I don't like it. I think we've let our children down as those in charge of what goes on the airwaves. And then now, you know, it's not even about that anymore. Maybe I can't say that because now we have social media and this internet.
I know. It's like the interweb.
Blessing and a curse.
It is.
But yeah, it just allows so much to get to our children. It's hard to control it. It really is. So
now, Lady B, let me
just
just
at
ask
home.
you this.
We gotta teach our kids at home the wrong and the right.
We talk about you often on our show, and the reason why.
What y'all be saying about me?
So Karen has said,
I was
Say it to my face, though. Say it to my face, though.
she right here, Karen. Say that.
What you gotta say, Karen? Now what, Karen?
Like, no, it wasn't me. What it is that Summer and I always talk about who introduced us to hip hop, right? Which was our older brothers. Okay. But who continued and really kind of introduced us to a variety of hip hop was you. Okay. And
Oh my God, we're sitting here with you.
Yes,
Oh my
I was
God.
like, see
I
how
just had to
life
have that
comes
moment for a
full
second.
circle.
I'm so sorry, guys. I just had to have a moment. Just give it to
They
me.
didn't have much hip hop back then. That was all they had. Poor
That's what we're talking about.
I'm glad I was here
so
for you.
excited. Thank
I'm
you
so
so
glad I
much.
was here for
We
you.
love you so much.
This interview is for people to get to know you, but it's also to give you your roses as you deserve.
Yes.
right?
Thank you.
And thank you so much for, like you said, you fought for this. And I remember how so many people were so against this genre of music, and it spoke to all of us.
You have no
Right?
idea. I have no idea.
So can you talk to our listeners and viewers about the struggle, like how you got
The
on the
struggle.
radio
First
and
of
what
all,
happened with
they thought hip hop was a fad.
Right.
It was some gimmick, if you will.
It's not
no
gonna
one wanted
last.
to hear it. We had oh God, and then when the lyrics got a little risque, we had politicians picketing stations, and
Rock the boat.
yes.
there was you have to see an interview I just recently watched with Tyrone Williams, the president of Cold Chillin', saying that one time they wanted to kill hip hop, just like put it down like a dead horse.
Wow.
And how? What was what would be the method to do that?
Well, at that time we didn't have all the social media that you guys have. It's just been cutting it off of radio. It was hard. It was hard. No one wanted to hear it.
Yes.
You know, we've been talking about Mr. Cosby in the news a lot lately, and I remember. First of all, I want to honestly say that I spent so much time around Mr. Cosby. He was Mary Mason's road dog,
Right.
my bosses, and I spent a lot of time with him, and never did I ever see him disrespect a woman
Absolutely.
at all. I've seen some that I care not to mention, but that I would have said definitely they could have done something like that. But Mr. Cosby wasn't one. But back to what we were saying, he was against hip hop.
He
I remember
was.
that.
And we argued so much. And I remember telling him, you know, I'm sure that your parents didn't like your rock and roll.
Yep.
And I'm sure that your children are sneaking and listening to Run DMC as we speak. I promise you they know every word to It's Like That. And Sucker MCs.
Right,
And not my kids, blah, 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 blah. And I also remember when I begged the radio station to allow me to play hip hop on the radio. They gave me this little hour show, and then it grew to 2 hours. And I remember the owner of the station, this woman she never spoke to me. She would just walk by. I was just a little girl in the office, you know, because I was music director at the station. WHAT 1340
Yes,
AM.
yes.
And
AM radio, people.
Yes, that's what we
Right.
had to listen to.
But I remember Miss Banks never saying a word to me until hip hop became so popular and the money
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
started to generate. And then she spoke to me every day.
Wow.
So,
And my show went from a weekend show to a full-time show.
so take me back a little bit, because this story needs to be unpacked a little bit.
Okay.
So you say you begged for this to happen. What did that
As
look
Miss
like for
Mason
you?
every day. It's what we're listening to in the street. It's what my friends listen to. 'Cause you have to understand that at that time we weren't digging in the crates.
Absolutely.
It was just a crate. A crate.
Just a crate. Let me bring this crate
I
in.
had like maybe 10, 15, grew to 25, 30. Oh God, we got 50 hip hop songs.
Oh my gosh, right.
You know what I mean? But the artistry of the turntables, I mean, you could play, and then back then, shoot, a hip hop song was 10, 13 minutes sometimes.
Absolutely.
I could put on Maestro and run around the corner to my apartment.
Come back.
Make a sandwich and come back,
Yep,
and the needle
it's
was
still
still
on.
spinning.
Yeah.
So it wasn't hard to fill up the time.
Okay.
and we played the song from beginning to end. We weren't into the, you know, we might have cut and scratched it a little bit, and then, you know, the whole turntablism thing came into play, and yeah, it was just an exciting time. But I remember, literally going to her office every day, like, Miss Mason, please, can I, you know, I can do this, because they were giving me odd jobs, and I learned the equipment. So, you know, like my first gig, I got paid for, ironically, was playing there was a show, a Frank Sinatra show. It was a man named Sid Mark on WWDB, and a show, Fridays with Frank, and my mom listened to it, and I remember her being excited, because I'm like, oh, Mom, I've run the tape, you know, I'm in control of the board playing this Fridays with Frank, the show that you listen to, and blah blah blah. And while doing all of that, I still kept going to her office every day. So, by the way, can I please? So just 1 hour. Just give me 1 hour. Please. They're doing it up in New York. They have this show and blah blah blah. And she finally gave in.
So you said it went from 1 hour to more. So after that first hour show, what did she say?
Nobody want to hear that mess. She still wasn't.
She still was like, no.
She was like, nah.
What year was this, though? What year was this?
This was 79.
Okay.
Yeah.
79. Okay.
Right after I put out To the Beat, y'all.
Okay.
Yep.
So let's talk about To the Beat, y'all, then.
Okay.
So
To the
where
Beat,
did that
y'all,
come from?
It is, you know, we had a Women in Hip Hop weekend couple years ago to get the facts straight. That's why it's so important that we do this Hip Hop Museum.
Yes.
About, so here are the facts.
Okay.
There were numerous women spitting rhymes prior to me. We got your Shy Rocks and Pebbly Pooh and the Mercedes ladies and Lisa Lee and all of them up in New York doing it. However, they weren't blessed with the opportunity to put their lyrics on wax. I was the first to do that.
Got it.
So how I am not the first female rapper, I am the first female rapper on wax.
Right.
And how that came about was, you know, I was dating a basketball player here in Philly. World Be Free. I'm just gonna call him on
yes,
out.
let
Put
it
him on
on,
out
let's go
there.
on out.
But yeah, you know, I was a little girl, and you know, I had little starry eyes, and I would go up to New York all the time with him and his brothers and his friends and Daryl Dawkins, and I saw what hip hop was. I'm like, oh, they're spitting lyrics over these breaks. Oh, that's kind of cool. So when I came home, I was working at Kim Graves'. It was a club down on 20th and Sampson.
Okay.
And Lawrence Levine, one of the best DJs ever, may he rest in peace, would start cutting those break beats and allowing me to say the little
thing. Yes.
to do. But actually, it wasn't my thing at the time. I was just mimicking World and other rappers up New York that I heard saying stuff like, it was all clap your hands, everybody.
Yes.
It was kind of a toasting is what they called it back then, hyping the crowd.
Yeah.
It wasn't really ready to be put in song form.
Okay.
Right.
And then Sugar Hill did. Joe and Sylvia put out Rapper's Delight. Phenomenal hit. Everybody just loved and they gravitated to it. And someone approached me. Perry Johnson was like our biggest DJ on WDAS at the time and said, let's record you doing that stuff. And I'm like, what stuff? And he's like, I'm like, the rapping thing? And I'm like, I can't do no song. I'm not interested in that at all. And he was like, come on, do it. I'm like, all right, well, you know, just as a gimmick. And comes to find out, I did it with TEC Records, was a record company here. Mark Stewart was the owner's name. And they were just trying to launder some money. They didn't really care about hip-hop or the success of the song. I remember one of the reasons I never liked To the Beat, y'all, is because it was a one-cut kind of thing. Me and my sister and Mimi Brown, my mentor, we sat up in my house in my mom's crib putting all these rhymes or making up rhymes, putting Butter and Perry's name in the rhyme. And we put them on these 3x5 cards and we put them on this board. And then the next day, I went in the studio, and it was like a one-take kind of thing. And I'm like, wait, I can do that part over. Let me do that part over.
And they're like, no,
it's fine. You're good. We're good.
Okay.
And it kind of backfired on them, though, because the song hit. Because it was the first female to do it.
Yeah.
So it was a big hit. You know, it went gold across the country. However, they weren't good business people and did not pay me my money.
You know, a lot of people had this story.
But it has a happy ending because Joe Robinson, Mr. Rob, Sugar Hill Records, you know, I befriended him through playing his songs, you know, on my little radio show. He took the rights of it, being the gangster that he was, and re-released it on a Sugar Hill Greatest Hits thing, and I finally got paid, and he got me some money for it.
Wow.
So yeah,
There you go.
rest in peace to Mr.
Absolutely.
Rob and Mrs. Rob too. Yeah.
That is the ultimate
And so when people ask me, why do you don't like
Right.
to the beach on? I'm like, because I didn't even put my time and effort into it. It was just like a fluke thing. And then, right after that is when I started, the other songs started coming out. Then we had Enjoy Records and we had Sugar Hill Records and other labels were coming out with their stuff. And I still loved it. Even though I didn't want to do it, I loved it. So that's when I decided to do the radio thing and start playing it. And
So what is the B in Lady B?
Bahia.
Bahia? And that's your middle name? That's
The Muslim given
Muslim name?
Okay.
That's a very good way to put it. Imam gave me that name at the
Okay.
age of 13. I took my shahada.
Wow.
And coincidentally, my mother's birth name was Mahaya. My grandfather is from Malaysia, and my family's Malaysian.
Okay.
And he was Muslim. My grandmother was a Christian woman in Philadelphia. They had 10 kids. 5 have Arabic names. 5 had American names. And when my sisters and brothers introduced me to Islam at a very young age, they all took on attributes, and I wanted a name that fit me without picking one. Back then people were kind of picking a name that they thought sound cool.
Right.
And when I found out that names had meanings, I asked the imam at the masjid to pick a name for me.
Okay.
And that is what he came up with, Bahia. So all during high school, if you know anybody that went to Brook with me, they called me Bahia. So
Okay.
Wow.
Bahia is not new to my. If you ask Will Smith, if Will walked in the room right now, he would go, "Hey, Bahia," you know what I mean?
Okay.
So everybody from Winfield and West Philly
Wow.
knew that I was Bahia. And my mom had no problem with me changing it because my legal name wasn't one that she really gave a lot of thought to. I'm the last of 4 kids. I was a very unexpected pregnancy. I had no name for 2 days.
Oh, how you
They
gonna do
told
it
my
like
mom,
that?
they told my mom, you have to name her before you leave the hospital. Wendy Wanamaker, John Wanamaker's niece or daughter or something, won the Kentucky Derby. She was on the front page of the Daily News, and my mom was like, "Oh yeah, I like that name. The name from Peter Pan. Give her that." And
You know what, Mom?
No thought.
Dear Mama,
Yes.
Yeah. So
things done changed.
when I took the name Bahia, she had no problem. She left this earth calling me B.
Beautiful.
Aw,
So yeah,
that is a
and then the
sweet
Lady
story.
B came from, number one, spending time in San Diego with World, nobody could say Bahia. So his friends, specifically a friend, Daryl Bullock, he was in the service, and he just started calling me Miss B because he just got tired of trying to say Bahia. And I remember coming home and calling Butterball. I miss him so much. Hey Butter, my name is Miss B, and because they couldn't say my name, and I just got back from California, my first trip to Cali, blah 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 blah. And Butter kind of flipped it to Lady B and set it on the air one day, and I've been stuck with Lady B ever since. And that's how. So when they came to me and said, "Do the hip hop song, what are you gonna call yourself?" and they were like, "What's the name Butter calls you?" "Yeah, Lady B, we'll call you that." And that's how I got my name.
And that's how it happened.
And that's how it happened.
History was written.
Yes.
That's how it happened. So
Oh
yeah.
my goodness! And this voice of yours, this voice of
This
yours,
raspy, horrible sounding voice
Listen,
that I
men
still
like
don't
it.
like.
Men like that. Okay, they do.
I remember being a little girl. The first time my mom brought me a tape recorder, you can hear your voice back. I started
Yeah.
crying. I thought I sounded like a boy. I
You
still
know
do.
what? You have such a calming, commanding, definitely different, but it has this presence where when you start talking, people start listening.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I've been wanting to go to a
You
party.
want to do hip hop. I think that's why you.
Listen
feel that
here,
way.
lady.
You made me want to go to a party. I
Your
know that.
voice is like, do
Oh,
whatever
the
you
energy?
say.
I get the
I
energy.
your voice. Okay,
The energy is real.
I'm
the
going,
energy
and I was
is
only
real.
12.
One thing I can say about myself and my career is it's not something that I did. It really is something I lived,
Right.
and I loved doing, and I still love doing it. And when I'm at the party, I'm not just standing in the party, I'm at the party.
Yeah.
Like, I come home with sore knees and I have no business dancing and doing the ish that I do out there at parties today. I come home sore at my age, but I love to dance and I love hip hop. And
I got you.
I love music. I do.
I met you at the. Oh my God, what show was that? I guess it was the Loose End show. You were there, right? Hosting that one?
Yes.
With Walking Bear. Okay.
Right.
So
At
whoever the
Ardmore
DJ
Music Hall.
was, whoever the DJ was, Public Enemy came on, and you
My
were
fave.
killing it. And I was
It's
like,
something
this.
about Public Enemy is my favorite hip hop group of all time. But
Okay.
it's something about Hank Shockley's
Production skills.
is just-
those beats.
I know.
It's something about when I hear Bring the Noise, I don't
know.
care where I am. I just have to, I get in it.
It's very complex, but very it spoke
another
to the
voice.
street.
Public. No, and then back to what I was saying about MCs. The reason I love Chuck so much is because not only do I love his message, and the message that he, he gave us at that time was so critical.
Yeah.
Because it took us out of this whole bragging thing and how much I have that I really didn't have, and the whole falsetto to real lyrics. And but you understood every word.
You know, we talk about that a lot.
That he said, like I laid on every, oh my God, every, like I could understand he was saying back again is the incredible rhyme. And I could hear every
and you can repeat
thing.
it.
Yes.
He was the first.
Enunciate.
He was the
Yes,
first that I fell in
yes.
love with hip hop. He was the first. He made me fall in love with hip hop. Public Enemy, Flavor Flav, all of that, and it was his message, of course. But when you first really get magnetized by hip hop, it's one of two things. You're either like totally dead set on the beat, like the beat just draws you in, or that marriage of the voice. Like, what is the voice on this record? And when you hear it, it's either like, sometimes people's voices can be like, annoying, right? Some people's voices
pesty in your ear.
Yeah, they might be smooth and make you just like, mellow out or whatever. But Chuck made you listen, like just stop and put your ear to, like, he's
He had
the
a very
first
commanding
person.
voice, but then we look at a Big Daddy Kane who
Another one. He was another
so
one.
smooth
Yep.
with it, but I understood every friggin' word. I understood and heard every word.
He put you to the speaker
which is
too.
why he's one of my favorites.
Yes.
Listen, he's that dude, man.
He really is.
For so many reasons.
Yeah.
For so many reasons, he's that dude.
For sure, for sure.
But that voice is just like golden.
Whatever.
It is.
Okay.
You can't be like, guess who? You can't call and like prank nobody on the
37
phone.
years later, and I still don't like my voice.
If you called me on the phone and tried to prank me, I would be like, I know it's you, lady.
I know,
Day.
right?
You can't hide that.
I could change my voice, y'all.
Do it right now. I want to hear a different Lady B voice.
No. Come on.
I can't.
I'm gonna call you tomorrow. See if I can make it happen. I'm gonna work
I'll
on
be
it.
like, Denise, right?
Oh,
Okay,
goodness.
Denise.
That's
Go ahead.
Shay.
Shay Shay.
Shay Shay.
Yeah, all right, Lady B.
So, Lady B, you've been in radio for what, almost 37 years?
37 years is what I just celebrated this past August.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
But I guess I just had to say a 37-year career, being that I'm not on the radio anymore. So I've been doing this for 37 years,
Right.
and have no plans on stopping anytime
No.
soon. Yeah,
As you
What's
should
up?
not.
That's
I
what's
will
up.
not.
We
I
need you.
cannot. It's my life.
Absolutely.
What else am I
you gonna
gonna
do?
You gonna knit some sweaters? You gonna make some,
You know what I mean?
cotton
Wanna make
candy?
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I might do that.
I can't with you.
She can make brass knuckles.
Yeah, you stupid. You're so dumb.
Takes time.
Okay.
So you've been in the radio business for about approximately 37 years. So then talk to the viewers about your navigation through this, because when Summer and I were talking about, interviewing you, we were wondering, how did you maintain your integrity? How did you maintain your brand? And how did you navigate through it? Because if you think about hip hop, it's been through some ups and downs. You were there witnessing.
God knows, and a whole lot of changes.
Yeah. So how did you navigate that, being a female, being in the hip hop industry, also being gorgeous? How did you maintain all of that and your reputation?
That's a big question. Maintaining is just living life and going with the flow, I guess you could say. Surviving takes swag. It takes tenacity. It takes pride. It takes intelligence. It takes listening. It takes learning how to react or pre-acting before you react. It takes lessons. I can't say that it's all been a joyride.
Right.
Hell no. I just recently was let go of my job on radio, and I laughed when during Black Music Month they featured me, and people had a bunch of questions, and I was laughing. I said, this is the first time I've ever been let go, and I didn't do anything wrong, because I've been fired before for doing wrong-ish.
And it was you.
Yeah, and it was me, and I did it. But yeah, I've been let go of jobs before, but it's just, it's life and what happens. I remember a program director, I won't say his name, but spoke to me disrespectfully as a man to a woman, said something I didn't think was appropriate, and being a scrappy little girl from West Philly, I grabbed him by his tie and lifted him out his seat. Told him that I was going to punch him in his mouth if he ever talked to me that way. And
That sounds like the proper response.
That's right. And I got fired.
Well, things
And
happen in
then
life.
I was told to not play certain songs. Again, I won't say what program director it was. I had a program director that told me I couldn't play Public Enemy. And I remember saying, well, I quit. If I can't play them, if you allow me to play the rest of this nonsense, and you won't allow me to play something I think is necessary for my folks to hear, then I don't want to work here anymore.
And that love for hip hop and care for it.
More. It wasn't really my love for hip hop that made me make that decision. It was my love for my community and
Absolutely.
my folks. So you have to understand, coming up under Mary Mason, I owe this woman so much. I learned so much from her. But I saw every politician and, every city council person, mayor, and everybody come through that radio station. I learned a lot about life and the rules and the regulations and the politics of what allowed us to live and function and survive at that time. And I just tied that all in with my hip hop. So while I was still having fun and playing Public Enemy and KRS-One and the conscious hip hop that I really gravitated to, I did that with the mindset of knowing, how it was going to affect my community at the same time. So it did mean that much to me.
Absolutely.
It was surpassed me and Chuck's friendship or me and Flav's friendship. It was about what they represented and what I felt necessary for people to hear. Yep. Yeah, for sure. So I don't know when you say about survival, that's God. I am a firm believer in the Creator. I have conversations with Him daily.
As you should.
Yeah, I'm the kind of person, my friends tease me, but I will thank God for a parking space if I pull up and it's available. The story was already written for me. And I just, I've said this in interviews before, I just keep praising and keep knowing that He's here and it's His story and it's already written, and just turn those pages and act accordingly. So yeah, but it's been some real rough times being the only girl in an all boys club and having to demand that respect. But you'll get it if you put your shoulders back and that chin up.
That's right.
I tell young ladies all the time, you are unique and special, and never ever let anyone take that away from you, and never let anyone else's opinion of you stunt your growth. I was just looking today, a post that Jada Will's wife put
Yes, it
up
was
of Taraji. Did you see that
Yes,
today?
that was awesome.
About the naysayers who told her that she wasn't age appropriate.
Yep.
She could not do this. She couldn't be a single mother and accomplish this. And had
Yep.
she listened, like she said, to what folks said, then she would have not excelled to where she is. I know that a lot of what got me through was being the youngest of the family, and having older brothers and sisters who showed me what piles of shit not to step in. It helped a lot.
Right.
I know my sister is one of the toughest people I know. Our father died at an early age, and primarily her and my mom raised me. My brother was off at school, but I know the fear that people had for my sister probably saved me from a whole lot of ish, because they just feared my sister. She was just that tough. So I don't have too many Me Too stories to tell, because I think people feared my sister knocking them upside the head or shooting them or something. You know, my sister was a gangster.
Right.
And yeah, so I'm sure that saved me and helped me along my journey.
Yeah.
Sure it did.
Yeah, I just my cousin's birthday was yesterday. Stacy, happy birthday, Stacy.
Happy birthday, Stacy.
Oh, shucks. She and I were the only girls born in the family for 24 years. So it was just
You had no choice but to be tough.
Yeah, it was just, my brothers, my cousins, and you would think that she and I sometimes, like, we could wear different hats, which is a beautiful thing about us as women.
Right.
But sometimes I was playing football with them. Sometimes I was trying on dresses.
I was a tomboy. I'll tell you right now.
I would say 85% tomboy.
I have,
because my mom needed that other
I did
15%.
more running and jumping and popping wheelies and playing in the street than I did with Barbies. That's for darn sure.
Let me tell
I
you
was
something.
a little bit from column A and B. Like, I truly loved, I did a lot of, the fun stuff with all the kids in the neighborhood, like you said, with the big wheels, your bikes, all of us playing cops and robbers, all that type of stuff. Climbing trees and having squirrel, was it? The acorn fights. Did y'all have acorn wars?
It got a little,
I've had
hurtful.
so many accidents trying to hang with the boys.
Oh yeah.
But then I wanted a Barbie doll head. I have a picture of me with it. I will show you later.
Are you serious?
That was my prize.
I need to
I
see
love
that.
dressing up and stuff too. I did that, but more. I'm not even gonna lie. I love playing and running and ripping and
Right.
Listen,
injuring myself more than I did
yes.
playing with the girly dolls for sure.
That's how you know you live. When you come in like, I need a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
I need to lay down.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the strength though, to that point, we realized we had, a conversation. Like, we're strong. We're kind of tough too. And it's not to
No, we're not kind of tough. We're tough.
Yeah, we're tough. But
We're
to
women.
speak to how you manage yourself in different situations and how you do or don't get into stuff.
Oh, I made some mistakes. Don't get me wrong. Those have all been perfect.
You make
Hell
them,
no.
but it's a different
Oh my
resilience.
God. I someone said to me once, it hurt my feelings so bad. They referred to me as the oh God, how did they put it? The doormat to the industry. Like, you had to come across me to get in. But it sounded to me like I was stepped on, and you know what I mean? You were just a doormat. And I'm like, whoa. No, I like the term gatekeeper.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah, like, give me that. Don't call me a doormat. Well, you put people on, and you know what I mean? And I'm like, and you're saying because maybe they made out better financially than I did?
Possibly,
makes me
but
any less of a person?
what does
I'm
that
like,
right? What does that have to do with?
No one can look in the mirror and say that they've
No.
done what I've done other than me.
No,
I own what I've done.
absolutely,
I am proud of what I've done.
absolutely.
I am proud to be that gatekeeper that launched all those careers. I am proud of being a woman in an all-boys club at that time and demanding and getting that respect.
Absolutely.
And now for a brief Ladies Love Hip Hop intermission.
I'm gonna have to fast forward it to the fun part.
Y'all remember this?
Zoom, you chase the day away. High noon, the moon and stars came out to play.
Hey.
Zoom.
Really, Karen?
I think this song has a serious meaning to Karen. She was really in it.
Yeah, what happened to this song?
My first
She did not pop. Did she
Your
just
first
pop
light-skinned
like
boyfriend?
My first couldn't have a boyfriend when this song came out, but it was my first light-skinned love affair. Yeah, man. It was my brother's best friend named Steven. Where are you?
Now we putting that on Instagram.
Y'all belong together. Y'all are so retarded. In a good way, though. In a good way, though.
Together. I don't know which version you're singing.
Can I flip the interview? How long have y'all known each other?
So, back in my Harvard days,
You met her at the quad.
Yes, I did. And she was reading a book by Ernest Hemingway.
I was reading Anna Karenina, still reading it
She
till
was
today.
reading the King magazine.
Did you say you still read it to the day? Am I heard you?
She said King.
You were reading the King.
That's the realness.
She was looking at a Playgirl magazine, and I thought, she's a woman after my own heart.
Hell,
Sorry.
All right, y'all. So we have returned outside to reclaim the essence of hip hop, which is sitting on the stoop.
Right here.
Oh my
Sitting on the stoop
God.
It all
with Miss
happens here.
Lady B.
reminds me of my mom yelling out the window, if you don't turn that mess down.
Okay.
All great conversations originate on the stoop.
Yes. So
So what we going to
I used to hustle on the stoop. You know what I did mostly on the stoop? Cornrowed all the guys' hairs. And
Oh.
my hustle and pierced ears.
You pierced ears?
Yes.
Get out.
Had her own little piercing.
Freeze it with the eat. No, that was back in the day, hardcore. You took the ice and you froze the ear, and then you stuck the needle through, and then you got the piece of broomstick. Oh, y'all too young.
You know
Remember
what?
that?
Yes, I do remember people walking down the street with broomsticks in their ear.
No, I don't remember
Broomstick, the pieces of the broom at the bottom.
You were burning on each end.
that. See, all I
And you stick it in
remember
your ear.
is hardcore baby hair and baby powder on people's necks
I had been late to school.
and the mushroom
With that
hairdo.
darn baby hair. Let me
Listen,
tell you.
because sometimes you got to start over.
Yes, because the baby hair was pumping.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
As soon as LL
was
put it in a
real.
song, it was like mandatory.
Yes.
You have to have some.
I'm sorry, we were
baby
doing
hip
it way before LL said anything.
I
about
remember
it.
that too.
I am
Poor little
only
baby.
15 years old.
Poor little baby.
you cut it out.
You thought baby hair started with LL. Poor little baby.
I didn't say it started. I
That's
said
a
we
little
put it
bit of
in.
Yeah, he
the
exacerbated it.
song. It was like, now I must.
Long before the Around the Way girl, we were putting baby hair.
She's the original Around the Way girl.
Yes.
Whatever.
She's like, not really, not that far back.
They're babies.
So, Lady B, in conclusion, I'm kidding. So just to piggyback off of what you had mentioned earlier, which was, you were a little hurt by someone's assessment of you being a doormat.
Yeah, I was like,
How
like
dare
the
he?
gatekeeper.
Yes.
I like that.
I need Lady B to put that mic up to her.
Oh, I wasn't talking in the mic close
No.
enough. Yeah.
I mean,
So,
Anyway, I was
with you
saying
being
that I like being called the gatekeeper,
right.
as opposed to a doormat.
So what I told you earlier is that the young peoples, they need receipts. This is a receipt generation, okay?
show me the receipts.
So would you tell our viewers and listeners who you are credited for just jumpstarting their musical career?
Anybody that came out in the 80s, anybody and everybody.
Talk about it.
You have
Let's
to
go and list
understand,
them. Go and list
Before
them.
your little, that's too long to list, girl. But before we had,
Shonda,
before
Tamika,
even radio
Sharon,
opened
Karen.
its heart and its airwaves to hip hop music, you have to understand we only had weekend shows. Hence the reason that everyone in Philadelphia and around the world has a Lady B tape, a cassette tape, because they would literally tape the show.
That's right.
Every week.
was
And that's
one
all
of
the
them.
hip-hop
That's
that
right.
you held on to all week.
You had to.
And you wanted me to shut the hell up so you could tape your music. So I literally had to say, because people would be like, B, shut up, I'm trying to take my song. And I would have to say, okay, start your tapes now.
Yep.
But yeah, that was it. It was all you
And we
had.
thank you for that.
So give
you're
us
welcome.
the list of the folks that you that you're your
Everybody,
most proudest accreditation.
I don't
You know the Lady B accredited.
Yes.
whatever. I mean, everybody, but I mean,
You keep
How about
saying
Sir
everybody.
Big Daddy Kane, Will
Big
Smith?
Daddy, everything on Cold Chillin', everything on
There you
Sugar
go.
Hill, Will and Jeff and Public Enemy, everything on Russell's label, everything on Profile, all
Wow.
the Run DMCs, LLs, everybody.
And tell folks who don't know what you specifically did for these folks.
Because
it wasn't that she just
I gave
said-
them an outlet.
There you go.
When no
If it
one
had
else
not-
was giving it to him.
No, it was just me and Mr. Magic at the time. When there was no one else, it was just me and Mr. Magic. We were the only two who had, were blessed with the opportunity to have a radio show with hip hop, and it was what it was.
Wait a minute.
And even after the rest of the country started to pick up on hip hop, Tyrone Williams said it best. He said, people looked to me and Mr. Magic to see if we were playing it, then they would follow suit and play it.
Right.
And if we weren't, then they wouldn't touch it. We were like, the godmother and the godfather of hip hop on radio. And, it was a lot of power in that. And a lot of people didn't make it onto the show. As time grew on, in the beginning, like I said, we only had a crate. But, as, by the time we got around to Jeff and Will, and you could choose what songs you wanted to play. So, because everybody and their mom wanted to be a rapper back then. Some of the records was whack. It was whack.
All right, can you tell us one person you thought was whack and you was like, who in the heck backed this?
Let
person?
me tell you, and he's going to be so mad at me because his security guards actually dragged me into the dressing room at the Spectrum, was mad at me. But on Power 99, I used to do this thing called Make It or Break It.
Yes, I was
I
just
started
singing the
that.
song
Make
in my
it.
head.
Back then, we would literally
break it.
We would break the record. Like I would literally take the
Break it.
and crack it. on
Yes,
my
break
knee
that thing.
and break it. But for some
So
reason, we
rude.
didn't like. I didn't like, and Philly didn't like him. MC Hammer.
You know
Believe
what?
it or not.
My heart. Oh, my heart, y'all.
Believe it or not, we did not like MC Hammer, and
this that you were on to make it?
I can't even remember.
His Mother Out.
It might have been.
Oh, Lady
His
B.
Mother Out was a good song.
That might be a
grew to
generational
love
thing
it.
too.
We grew to love it.
but we just weren't feeling it at first.
Okay.
And unanimously, it was broken. Like the votes came in to
Wow.
like 80 to 20.
Hey, yo, break that.
And we broke it, and word got back to him that that we broke it, and it didn't.
Hammer and his henchmen came for
So
you.
it was more like his henchmen.
Uh-huh.
And I'll never forget.
Yeah, he
it.
rolled
they
deep.
pulled me back into his dressing room when they were mad about it, and I'm like, I'm sorry. I think you're cool and all, dude, but Philly just ain't feeling it. I got no request for it. Nope, they weren't feeling it, Hammer, at first. And then he kind of went crossover and pop, and then every white woman, black woman, every woman everywhere was loving the pants and the dancing and gravitated to Hammer. But no, in the streets, he was not a hit in Philly.
Philly was not feeling MC Hammer.
At first, they
At first.
eventually came.
We were the only ones. I think all of the teenagers that grew up around that time loved it. Him, me, Summer.
I had
my
Hammer
friends.
pants. I definitely had.
Yeah, I
Hammer.
was.
had the pants. I loved
Soon as I
Hammer.
heard "Turn This Mother Out," I was. Yeah, I was a part of
Well, I
it.
told you how I feel about dancing, so
Uh huh.
I love the dancing.
He wasn't the most lyrically like
No, I never would put him in
you
there.
know
He was an
genius,
entertainer.
gifted.
That's what he
Yeah,
was.
He definitely was an entertainer.
That's what he was.
Under the
And anybody
hip hop umbrella.
Five as a lyricist really doesn't.
No,
Yeah,
no.
they probably his cousin.
No disrespect, Oakland. I'm just saying.
Oh man.
Anywho, so talking about your trajectory through this business, the name that you made for yourself, all the different stories and all of the different, artists that you have helped to make known to folks. You have a great career. But one part of that career came to an end, which was a total shock to, all of the people who have been following you.
Shit, it was a total shock to me.
We talked about that for weeks. Like that, it doesn't make sense.
Oh my God, people didn't
And what's
understand.
going on?
Some of my
Tell us
close
about
friends were calling me and saying, "B, you're not on a radio station anymore. What happened? Who did you hit? What did you do?
So you a bully.
What argument did you get into?" No, because a lot of my personal friends know that I have a zero tolerance for bullshit, and I can be honest to a fault. and I don't bite my tongue. I have no filter.
You gonna give me that Twizzler bag though?
One of the things that I'm very proud of, though, is that not having a filter. But for those who did not hear my story when I finally could talk after the 6-month gag was taken off of me, I walked into work on a Tuesday, very upbeat, looking forward to interviewing Councilman Blondell that day. We were talking about something that was going on. And I was called into the office and told it was my last day. And it was like a cruel joke. I'm like, well, my ratings are good and I didn't do anything wrong. No insubordination on my part. They were like, no, it was just a decision made by the company. A business decision is what they called it. And I was telling you guys off mic, this is a business at the end of the day. And if it was a matter of them not wanting to renew my contract or not being able to afford what they were paying me, I don't know. I'm not in their front office. But I just wish they had respected me a lot more and at least told my audience and my city that I grew up in and that I've reared in this hip-hop thing, that I didn't do anything wrong, and wished me well. 10 years, and this is my second run with Radio 1, but for 10 years I held them above water, and I bust my ass through every name change and every format change. We just went to old school. We were just the 90s. They put me on at night, put me back on the day, and every change that they made, whether I liked it or not, I rolled out with them and and did my best and put my best foot forward. And I think right now what I miss, because I can't say I miss partying with my city because I'm still doing all the shows and I'm still doing the parties, and my city has showed me so much love, support, and dedication, if you will. The promoters that I still host their concerts, still did my basement party at the Dell this year, another sold out success. But I missed the community part of it. I miss, like right now, what's irking my soul is not to be able to talk about this upcoming election,
Right.
and the importance of it, and talking about Orange 45 and the nonsense, and not
Just
being
a
able to
cheetah.
talk about this Supreme Court hearing, and
Right.
all that is going on is killing me. Not giving my listeners the valuable information pertaining to our kids and the gun violence and the opioid addiction and all the crisis that is around us. It's such a sad and scary time. I'm older than you guys. I'm a 60s baby, and I remember my older brothers and sisters marching and protesting. And I grew up in a house full of Black Panther Party members and First Resurrection Muslims and people who, that's the upbringing that I had. I knew about Elijah Muhammad and the likes of Huey P. Newton long before other kids my age did. And just having a conscious mind and not being able to share that with my audience hurts more than anything. Oh my God, I miss it so much.
We miss you. We miss hearing your voice.
It just, it
You get
hurt.
used to hearing somebody, it becomes a part of your day,
And that's another thing. When they let me go, I think the thing that bothered me the most was I received emails from people like a man said he got through his dialysis every day listening to me.
Wow.
And what could he do now? And this man said that he was he didn't know what to do, how to receive his chemo treatments. He was suffering from cancer, and people telling me that their children, because I had to realize, it's funny, I had this epiphany a couple years ago at the Universal Soul Circus. All these babies were running up to me. Lady B, Lady B, Lady B, can we take a picture? And I had to stop. I'm like, how do these children know? They know nothing about no old school hip hop, and I know they're not listening to this funk and R&B that I'm playing. But then I realized my mom and Pop are picking them up from
Yes,
school.
they are. they're
I'm on
exposed
the
to it.
radio. And I would like to say I'm proud of the fact that I had a family-friendly show, so it wasn't anything they had to worry about them listening to. It wasn't going to say anything raunchy. So, yeah, I had these kids,
Yeah.
and when they told me that their kids were missing me, or my granddaughter was crying because you're not on the air, and yeah, it was bad.
You made a cross-generational impact. I mean, you have been a part of...
I did get to that point. I have
Yeah.
gotten to that point. Yeah.
You're a part of music that transcends generations anyway.
But it's more than music now. You know, for the first, I would say 20 years of it was music, but you grow up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and being able to play R&B, funk, and hip-hop all together.
Right.
And what I labeled the basement party was even more
My jam.
rewarding. Because I've said this before in interviews, honored and blessed to have been a soundtrack to lives.
Yes.
And yeah.
Man,
But now I just want people to know that the radio thing comes with a bigger responsibility to your community. And life is real. It's not all about partying and rhyming and spitting, and we're not tagging T-shirts and looking for dookie dope earrings anymore. We're raising families, and it's real. Healthcare is real. Prison reform is real. Yeah, all of it is real. Social Security is real, especially for my generation. Some important things that need to be addressed, and it's time for us to come together as a people.
do you remember Do the Right Thing, I believe? Was it Do the Right Thing where... Yeah. God, I'm at a loss. I'm having a concussion moment. Husband and wife...
Ruby D and
Ruby
Ozzy.
D and Ozzy. So
Right.
I'm seeing his face, but I'm remembering the radio show.
Right.
Right? That the Wake Up.
Well, that was Samuel Jackson.
Samuel Jackson, right?
Right.
And so I'm thinking about Ruby D and Ozzy's character, being, of that generation and having that level of wisdom. And then you have like the Sal and that generation where they're, running the store and they have their kids there. And then you have like the kids playing and all, you just have all of these different generations of people. But something that really stuck out for me with that movie was that wake up and that voice of the town. When things went bad, he was there to talk about it. He
Right.
was just as important
Right.
as the elected officials, as the
Sure.
police. He
I
was.
told you, coming up under Mary Mason, I realized at a very early age that power and responsibility came with that microphone. You know what I mean? And I say that to anyone who was, because now, God, we have all this technology, and anyone can have a radio show, and anyone can have a podcast, and there's just so much out there. But I just want folks to realize that it comes with responsibility,
Yes.
and especially the ones who are phony doing it and putting up some, because there's a skillion of them. But yeah, that just be mindful that folks are listening and they're affected
Right.
by what you say.
Yeah,
Sure, for sure.
absolutely.
Hmm.
Well, you definitely took that seriously.
Yes.
Yeah, I still do. Which is why I can't wait to start my own podcast.
Oh,
Yes, that's what we're going to get into. So we want to know, with the
Well, first of all,
new
for
challenge.
anybody out there that wants to hire me to come back on terrestrial radio, I am still willing to do that. One of the reasons I'm still willing to do that is because, unfortunately, a lot of our folks don't have money for phones and the technology to hear a podcast, and radio is free and affordable for everyone. So we can't lose sight of that with all this technology. So I still want to be there for those folks. But yeah, a podcast is something that everyone's been bugging me about doing. And then I was like, oh yeah, okay, I can do it. But then after having conversations with folks about it, and I'm like, wow, they said, B, you realize if you do this, you have a freedom that you've never had before. And there is no FCC or no program director or no boss.
I am the manager. That's
telling
what
you
said.
what to do or what to say. And I remember just, last year doing interviews because of commercials and music content. I would have to take a 15-minute interview, a really good one, and edit it down to 5 minutes.
Wow.
Losing a lot of meat of it, losing a lot of it, but having to choose what I thought was the most important 5 minutes. I don't have that problem with the podcast.
You can talk for 5 hours straight if you want to.
I can
And
drop the
people will come
F-bomb if I
back.
think is necessary.
And people can
I
always come back to it.
don't have to be politically correct
See,
in
look,
their
watch
eyes.
this. Watch this.
Shit. Damn. Motherfucker.
Who's going to stop us?
No one. Even though we shouldn't say those words, but sometimes they're necessary.
Yes.
So, when that situation comes and I feel like, because I'm sure that man living in the White House is going to at least make me drop a F-bomb once or twice
a week.
a day.
A day.
Even. But yeah. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to the people that I interview being able to say what they want to say. One of my funniest memories with our Philly homeboy Schoolie D was from the beginning. Schoolie loves to tell the story about how I made him cry because I couldn't play his song, and he had effer after every word. It was a curse word, and of course, especially then, hip hop had just got on the radio, and
Yeah, the
you about to get me
platform wasn't
fired.
there.
I can't play this crap. But after doing the edit and and breaking it down and finally playing Schoolie's song and everything and having to interview Schoolie, you still had to tell him, "Oh, Schoolie, you can't say this on an interview." And I remember the first year I got the job at Sirius Radio, as satellite radio, and Schoolie drove up to New York with me to do an interview. And I said, "Schoolie, guess what? You can curse on this interview. You don't have to refrain." And he must have said the F word at least
2011 times.
50 times at least in
Wow.
this interview, just because he could. He's like, "So you mean I could say shit if I want to?" I'm like, "You can." And I remember him just being so happy and just cursing through the whole entire interview. But yeah, so when I interview with Schoolie now or anyone else that I know wants to drop the F word, they
Express
can.
yourself.
You all
They
can
all-
wax.
We can all be who we are. Yeah.
So what's the
I'm looking forward to
timeline
it.
for your podcast? When can we expect it?
I'm trying to. I have some things already. I'm preparing. I've been filming my my concert this year, and I have an awesome episode. I can't wait for folks to hear with KRS-One. The man is so smart, and he is the teacher, and he has so much to teach. So I'm excited about airing that one. There's a couple other surprises I have. So January of 2019, from my mouth to God's ears, I will be ready to come out. I'm going to call it the B-side, because that's just what
That
it
is
is.
perfect.
So it's a little hip hop, it's a little community, it's a little music, it's a little information,
and it's all about your side.
and it is my side. And my side represents our side. And I want to talk to folks your age and even younger about what's going on in our life.
I'm 25.
I'm only
she's
3.5 years old.
But I want to talk about the mothers and I want to talk to the millennials about their trap music and what are they doing with their daily lives. And I feel kind of sorry. I might be a little pompous for saying this, but I feel kind of bad for this generation. We were talking earlier about hip hop saving you guys, and I know for us it definitely did. But they don't dance anymore, and they don't have any fun.
Talk
and
about that at
I don't know
about
whether y'all
other
dresses are too
podcast.
tight and your damn shoes are too big, or what the hell.
They're not
but-
I think it's the pants
attention.
are too tight and they're on the cell phone.
Yes.
Yeah, and because you all have your heads down like this. This is all I see.
Let me tell you something. If the music is good, you won't have time for your phone.
No.
You're out there doing the
Dancing
Irish
is
jig.
so, I don't know. It takes away so much stress.
It does.
And not to mention it's healthy. It's for your cardio and yeah. But this generation just doesn't.
Yeah, if they're doing other
They
things.
want to sit around and smoke hookahs and have bottle service and just get drunk, and I don't get it.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't get
It's
it.
a different world.
Yeah, I
Well,
don't.
the
But you're
good thing
gonna
is,
you're gonna
yeah.
have the event that you're planning. You said in Fort Washington.
Oh well, that's the old school parties. We're going to keep them going.
Okay.
Shout out to Gary O. Check for us. We're going to do every third Fridays.
Yes.
Since, we were doing them at Temptations, but the business closed down. So yeah, we keep them going all the time.
Okay,
I'm
good.
always going to be there will always be a Lady B party somewhere.
Yes.
Know that to be true. That's the life I live. But yeah, I want to keep the concerts going, and because it's nostalgic, and I love the fact that for 7 years now, I started my 30th, that Dell Music Center sells out every year. And the vibe.
Can I get a whoop whoop?
People bring their
Whoop,
children.
whoop.
The thing about the basement party is it's a chance for you to teach your children and your grandchildren what this genre is about and what old school music is about. I know I enjoyed. I remember when I was a little girl, my sisters and brothers used to take me to dramatic shows and Adele's, and that's how I learned about
I
the
saw your video.
Delphonics and all those people. And I remember how exciting that was as a kid for me. Just to want to, learn what it was about. And yeah, so I would like to think that I provide that for this generation. So y'all can
Yes.
bring y'all children
Yay.
to see an MC
Our children
How
are
about a pet?
dogs.
Can my
you
furry?
know what?
A furry
I was
child.
speaking in general of the generation.
I was being selfish and talking about my
I know,
kids.
self-consuming and self-absorbed.
Can we all just bow our heads and say a prayer for them?
And go.
Dear God.
Go.
Oh goodness.
Thank them and praise them.
So
I mean, we can't
special
help. We
you are.
can't help
You're
it.
so special.
Yes.
It's life. So I think that we had this whole list of questions that we had for you, and
Come
we
on.
pretty much we hit
All of them.
everything.
Sure?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We hit everything because you know what the other good thing is.
Oh, they wanted to talk to me about love and sex too. I didn't really have much to give them because I didn't really.
She's holding back people.
I'm not holding back. I will own every boy.
It was
all
Denzel.
My ex-boyfriends.
It was
All
Denzel.
my ex-boyfriends, you know who you are, and you should be glad that I'm not going to talk about that.
She has.
Because y'all know what happened. Y'all know what happened.
We're not gonna go all rogue.
Y'all know I put y'all out. You know what happened. You know, all of y'all.
In the words of
Stand down.
Mariah Carey, get the
Y'all
fuck
know.
out.
What?
She got a new song called "Get the Fuck Out."
Mariah Carey?
Yes, GTFO. That's the name of it.
That's so
I'ma
long
play
on
it
so
for you
many
one day.
levels. But I swear
No.
to some people, I would love to. Okay, we're gonna let
Even
that go.
Okay.
It
That's how
was.
she felt. Get the fuck out.
I mean, I get it. I just don't get it. I don't know.
I
Hi,
just gotta fly
Mariah.
Mariah, being that you got that big fabulous house, like, blah, blah.
I know.
I stands Mariah for this and this alone, that she sued her ex-boyfriend for wasting her time, and won.
And you know what?
That
she's
was the best story.
she's
When I
my
told that
idol.
story on the air that day, I'm like, wow.
I stands a queen.
Some of y'all out there about
There's
to
some
get
people
served.
I wanted to sue. I said, can you really do that? Can I go back? Is there a statute of limitations?
Okay.
There's some people I want some money from.
Yeah.
Yeah. My damn time.
Yes.
You know who you are.
Yeah.
I want my money.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want my damn money.
Me too. I'm old.
For real.
So what's your social media handles?
Yes. How can people find
you?
you?
I'm not a tweeter,
Mm-hmm.
but I am on Instagram at the real Lady B because someone else stole my name first.
What? It's a
Well,
sacrilege.
you know what? Can't say that. They didn't steal it from me. They probably didn't know, but it's such a common name. There is a Lady B gym, a shoe store. There's a bakery. There's all kinds of Lady B.
Are you
things
getting
now.
checks?
No, but so I couldn't even claim ownership of the name. So yeah, at the real Lady B, and just Lady B on Facebook, public open page. I don't have to accept your friendship or no crap like that. Yeah. And I'm
Not
getting used
feeling
to it. Y'all know, people who know me, my real peeps that listen to me every day, y'all know I can't stand social media and look at God. Now I got to stay on it every day to stay in
She said,
contact
"Look
with
at
y'all.
God."
So they say, tell God your plans, and he
I
will
know,
tell you
he's like,
different. So now I
So
literally
I
have to
need
be
you
in
to
my
run this
phone every
page.
day to tell y'all how I feel or show y'all what shows are going on or what's happening. But I have to say, I didn't. This last concert, I that's how y'all knew about the show, and that's why y'all came and bought the tickets. So kudos to social media.
Yeah. It's
So, yeah.
it's a process. It's everybody
It's a
doesn't
gift
like
and a
it.
curse.
Yeah.
I just don't like the negativity that comes with it and the falsehood
Yeah.
that comes with it. You will never hear me talking about my personal problems with another individual on social media.
Okay.
Because I promise you, whoever you are, look at me. If I have a problem with you, I'm not typing it in my phone. I'm knocking on your door,
Right.
or I'm calling you.
Right.
And that conversation is between
Philly.
me
Right.
and you.
Right there,
I will cuss you
Philadelphia.
out myself. I don't have to cuss you out in front of everybody
Right.
else.
Not necessary.
And I'm not afraid to say anything to your face, so therefore I don't have to type it in my phone. And I also believe if you don't have anything nice to say about someone, then shut the hell up. I just said that last night at the Stiletto Awards. Can I tell you about my award last night?
Yes.
So let me tell you how honored I was. So NABFEM is an organization of women who basically celebrate each other. We celebrate sisterhood and empowerment, and you know, it celebrates women who are doing things with their lives. And they had a very special award ceremony last night called the Shiro Awards, and it's literally a Hall of Fame. And I received the award last night along with Deanna Williams and Sarah Dash.
Oh, wow.
Of LaBelle fame. And then I was told when the announcer said that former recipients were the likes of Ruby D and Susan DePass and Sylvia Rohn and our very own Patti LaBelle. And I just sat there so humbled and honored. And yeah, I'm gonna take a picture and show y'all the award and post it. But wow, I was so touched.
It's
and
beautiful.
so honored to receive that. But I was saying that to sisters last night, that you know, let's use this platform to uplift each other and celebrate one another instead of tearing each other down, and stop predicating what you feel about a person's life off of one picture. Do
Right.
not take a picture or a video and then think that you're right and making your own analogy of what it is. That sister that you see in the backyard with her kids looking super happy may have just been abused seconds before she took that picture or after she took that picture. And just understand that it's just a small, tiny microchip second of a person's life, and you don't know what they're going through.
Right.
And stop thinking that you do. I know one of my reasons I couldn't stay on Facebook in the first place, I was making chicken salad one day, and I didn't have any celery. So without putting on makeup, or I tied a rag around my head, ghetto style, and ran to the ShopRite. And someone took my picture picking up celery and literally posted it and said, look who I ran into today. Number one, you didn't run into me because you didn't freaking speak to me. You know what I mean? Or say hello to me. You just snuck and took a picture of me and you put it up. And people could see that one picture and they could take that one picture like, man, Lady
B not doing good.
She ain't doing good, man. She ain't on no makeup. You know what I mean? I think she was stealing the celery. It's just we just give this platform too much power.
Yes, we do.
And it programs us. So I say just don't be programmed by it. And use it for good and not bad, you know?
Now, let me ask you this. Do you have some parting words and gems for our viewers and listeners, and even for Summer and I, on, anything that you learned throughout life that you would like to share with us, and just a gem to walk away with?
Honestly, I want to say one of my biggest faults is wearing my heart on my sleeve. Sometimes you have to tuck it away because people take advantage of it. Be you. Be comfortable in your own skin. And for God's sake, don't worry about what other folks think about you. Don't let what they think about you predicate how you feel about yourself. Most people who are hateful have been hated on. Keep that in mind. Do you. Be proud of who you are. Don't worry about naysayers and don't worry about the doubters. Stand in your own conviction. And because I know if I had not, I wouldn't be who I am today.
Right.
And I would have not accomplished. If I had listened to all those people who said that hip-hop was a fad and didn't believe in this genre of music, y'all would have never got it. So be comfortable in your own skin and be mindful of the power of this microphone, and always realize that people are listening and they are affected by it. That's
Now,
it.
before
Yes, you are rather unique.
Before you close out the show, Summer, I just wanted to take this opportunity, Lady B. We mentioned earlier about your impact on everybody's life, But as just a regular schmegular girl, growing up in West Philly,
I am a regular girl. Still.
but
And forever.
coming from like the aspects of Summer and I, right? We're growing up, and we're living in the hood and trying to navigate our lives as young women, right? And we just wanted to take this opportunity to really thank you for all that you have done. The impact that you have had on our lives, right?
I hope
and
it was a positive one.
Very positive. To the point of, like, I was telling somebody, I was like, a lot of people will say, well, you're stuck on this and this and that. I was like, do you realize we had to wait at 12 p.m. 12 at midnight to hear hip hop? Like, we didn't hear it over
this generation
and over
is spoiled.
over and over again.
Yeah.
Okay. So we had a small, tiny window. And then your father and your mother was not buying tapes over and over again so you can tape everything either.
Sure.
And everybody didn't have that kind of discretionary income that, people can come across today.
Try to give it to them in layman's terms like now. Just say, imagine if you didn't have Twitter and you didn't have Facebook or Instagram. And this was your only avenue to get the music that you loved. You know what I mean? Imagine if you didn't have this appendage, I call it now, in your hand every day to get and see what you wanted to see. You know what I mean?
So thank you for all that you have done. The fight, the fact that you stood up for hip hop, that you stood up for women, that you didn't back down.
And I'm still going to stand up.
Yes.
For us.
And so that, like I said, that particular period, which was very critical for all of us, like you said, it could have basically, in a weird way, been taken off the air. Like, you really made a great impact on our lives. And I just, Summer and I, we want to thank you for coming on the show, but we also want to thank you for all that you have done.
Warm and fuzzy. Thank you so much.
Because I mean it, man. Okay.
No, that's cool. I mean, like I said, when you walked in it makes me feel like my life wasn't wasted. Yeah.
Not at all.
Is my living in vain?
Karen is getting a record
Am
deal.
I
I can't wait
wasting
to have them
my
on my podcast
time?
because there's a little bit crack, just a little bit.
Just a
Comes with
skosh.
the territory.
Just a skosh.
Just coach.
But in closing, thank you.
You're welcome.
Check everything that Karen said. Your beautiful spirit. Like, it's beyond what you've done and what you're going to do. It's just like you right now. Sometimes we have to just be in the present and just really
You
be
do know y'all have
appreciative.
that same spirit, though, right?
Oh, well, that's what we attract. That's what we would like to attract.
No, you do.
I'm hoping.
And I think that,
You do.
we really, really appreciate you just for being just like who you are.
Yes.
Just the energy of you, just the likeness of you is enough.
I love y'all for that. Thank you
Yes,
so much.
it's more than enough. So when this podcast comes out, we'll be in for the next level of what, and the next leg of your race. You know what I mean? And what you're
Okay.
going to bring to music.
Get ready, because I
and
have
to
some
community.
freedom, y'all. Y'all ain't ready for a free lady.
I'm not sure
y'all
I'm
not
ready
ready
for.
for. I'm
I don't know what the rating is going to be. NC-17 or
XXXX Nation, whatever that boy name is.
well, for me, Summer Willow and
Karen.
yes, we want to thank you so much. We appreciate you for watching, for listening, and please remember, follow us on Ladies Love Hip Hop LUV on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and YouTube. And you can also hear this podcast on SoundCloud and iTunes. So, again, we thank you. And remember to keep it hip hop.
Word.
Because ladies love it and punani is a powerful thing.
Yes. Let them know.
That's how you end the show. I would drop this, but it's concrete.
Oh, goodness.
Peace.
You chase the day away. High noon.
High noon.
The moon.